Hello, today I am going to discuss about how to create Azure SQL DB in step by step. In order to create the SQL DB, let's log into the Azure portal, that is portal.azure.com. And if you are part of some organization, you will have the single sign-on option enabled. That means you no need to log in separately. Max to max, you may need to authenticate using your multi-factor authentication. So once you log in, you look for the Azure SQL DB. You can simply type SQL, then you can choose this Azure SQL database somewhere. Yeah, so you can do any of them. That will take you to the uh, you know the option to create the SQL DB. So I'll click on the SQL database. So and before proceeding on this part, so two things, two items are needed. One is resource group, the another is logical server. And logical server is needed to host your database. So you will not have actual server, but it's a logical server that will host your database, and the resource group that will group together all other resources. And also in future, if you're creating any other resources that belongs to this particular application group, then that particular item you can create under the same resource group. So both the item can be created during this database creation, or before the database creation also you can create those two items. One is the logical server and the other is the resource group. So I will be creating the resource group on fly. And other point is the subscription. On your screen you can see the subscription. In your organization you may have multiple subscription. So based on your need you can select the subscription and the resource group. So this practice session I will be creating. For this practice session I will be creating a new resource group, that is RG1. I will be creating. Okay, you can see the RG1 created. Then the database name. So database name can be anything, that is based on your naming convention that you can do. I have given test2, and here is the logical server. So this is not the actual server, it's just logical server. A name will be provided to you to host this database. So for that I will be creating a new one. And one more thing, that the name of the server has to be unique globally, that is to an Azure, and also that has to be case sensitive, and it has to be lowercase. Okay, so I'll give something name. I mean AZTest 03. Yeah, so I can take AZTest 03, and availability is not available. So that then I will the authentication method. So you have three options. One is Entra ID. So this first option is Microsoft Entra only authentication. That means your organization will have synced with the Azure ID, and using that particular your organizational login credential, you can log into the database, or you can use both the option, Microsoft Entra ID as well as the SQL login authentication method, and only the SQL authentication method. So for now I'll be only using the SQL authentication method, and that will be test1, and I will use my password. So I'll click on OK, and it will create the logical server, and it will pop up in this location. Yeah, I can see here is the logical database create server created. Then I will be discussing this elastic pool later. and in more details, then you need to select that for what purpose you are creating. So I will choose as a development for now. And also you can define your compute and storage. Based on that you will be charged. So as this is a just practice session, so I am going to use only minimum one max score, and minimum is zero point 0.5, and that storage is 32 gig. That also you can reduce to 1 gig. Okay, so that is only for practice. So I'll click on apply, and that backup also, that I'll be selecting locally only for now. But yeah, in later video we can discuss more about this backup storage redundancy. I will click next working next. So connectivity method, you can see it's a no access or public and private endpoint. Those will be discussed later. These all the other option will be as it is. I will keeping as it is. Then this security. Again, then the security part, I'll be mostly cases I'll be keeping them as it is, not going to touch them, because those all points we need to discuss in details. If I discuss on the same video, it will be very lengthy. So to avoid the video duration, I'm just you know selecting only the default one and moving forward. And then is the additional setting. So this is the point here, additional setting is the backup. So uh, you can use this old backup as well to restore while creating a new database. You can use a or any of the database backup, and you can create a new database with that backup. And the collation also you can select. Then the maintenance window. So this is the maintenance window for the Microsoft. So that you can give no any patching or anything to apply. They will apply on that particular time only. Then tag. Tag is nothing to recognize your item or the service you are creating. So maybe you know tagging day also we'll be discussing later. Then I'll click on review and create, and it will, if I click on it create, it will create. So before that I will quickly check the security option once, if it is anything to discuss. Okay, so nothing to discuss at this moment, so I'll discuss all this in later videos. Okay, I'll click on create, and in your it is validating all the options I have selected, and then based on that it will be creating the database, and as soon as it started creating, it will show on your notifications. So we'll wait for some time and we'll see the database creation. Yeah, you can see in your notification it started submitting the deployment. Yeah, you can see deployment is in progress. It will have a lot of options. We'll discuss all the options later. For now, I'll be showing only how to create this database. And many things are depend on your organization, like your database name, that logical server name, resource group name, the security, the compute, all depends on your compute, and storage is depends on your application needs. What would be the future growth? What is the current size of the database, or it's a new? Those all parameters we need to consider. Okay, the deployment is still in progress. It will be quicker one because we have selected everything is minimum. Should not take much time. Again, once it is created, we need to add our laptop IP or our local IP into their firewall system. Otherwise, we won't be able to connect from local laptop or desktop. And we'll be using SQL Server Management Studio latest version to connect this database. And we always will be connecting to the target logical server to connect to this database. Let it get created. Once it is created, I will take you to this database and I'll show. As you can see on your screen, this is getting created, all these items. Deployment is still progress. You can deploy this service in Azure using Terraform, Python both. You can make use of it. If you know very well, you can use it. Okay, you can see that our resources is created. So I'll directly go to the resource. There is option to add your IP of your laptop so that you can connect easily. Here. So I have to go to the server. There in the logical server, we have to go to security, networking, and here is the your public access. So I'll be connecting to this database over the internet using the public network, and for that I will be using this network firewall selected networks, and I will add my IP. So you can see automatically it will detect your IP. So I'll add it. Sorry, I'll click on it. Yeah, add it, and I'll click on save. Basically, you will have in your organization, you can use using private access, private endpoint also, but those points I'll be discussing later. For now, to connect, I will be just selecting this one, but it is not a good practice always because it is, exposing to the internet. Yeah, it is already saved. So as I said, to connect to database, we have to connect to the logical server, and that logical server is AZTest03. And for that, I will be creating overview, will giving overview. Okay, and I will take this server name, hmm, server name copied. Then I will click on connect option. Okay, let me take it from the portal. Okay, I will type the password. I click on connect option. Yeah, you can see. You can also create a database from here on this particular logical server. So this will be created here in portal. So I can give any name test2. So once it is created, you can see options also if you want. Yeah, this all you can see this compatibility level and all. And yeah, the compatibility always, will follow the latest one, latest available from the Microsoft. So any SQL version upgrade or anything that first app, created for the Azure SQL DB, then it will go for the Azure SQL Server. Okay, maybe some error. Let me see what is the error. Okay, this already exists. I mean, before that, okay, test2 already is there on with this, so that's the reason. So I'll create test3. It is good that no error appeared, so that okay, so I have used test3, and the same database will be appearing under this logical server in the portal itself. Okay, it's executing. Hopefully it will be created very soon. Will take little bit of time, maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but it will be creating. There are a lot of options available in portal itself, so we'll come to know as we go. We come to know all these points. In Azure SQL DB, the backup is automated. I mean, the backup is taken care by Microsoft itself. As soon as we create a database, a full backup is uh, triggered from the Microsoft. Every day or maybe weekly full backup, every 12 hours differential backup, and every 5 to 10 minutes transaction log backup. Default backup retention is 7 days, but yeah, you can increase it and up to 35 days, and also for longer retention you can use up to 10 years. So as you can see that test2 and test3 both are there now. So if you go to portal, I'll be also seeing this test3 database under this particular AZ test3 uh, logical server. So I'll click on this overview. Okay, I'll go to this test3 server, logical server. You can see the database is, where are the databases? Databases should be here. Yeah, you can see on your, so these are the databases test3 and test4, test2 and this test3. Okay, so this database is, this is how the Azure SQL DB created. And yeah, that's all for today. So I'll be discussing more in details in future videos. Thank you for watching.